Great. This next guy, he may have a little energy, so it's at the end of the night. This is going to be great. He's going to energize you, and if you haven't experienced this before, this is going to be a treat for you all. Ladies and gentlemen, Turk. Turk.
Fucking train of thought, all right? That's bullshit, you know. I try to tell people what I do for a living, okay? And then when I tell them, and I said, it's not really good because they laugh at me, okay? Hey, and by the way, I play the air guitar, right, for you. There you go. And you ask about anybody who's musicians, okay, and magicians, okay? I'm one of them. So, here's the deal. I really appreciate the fact that you people have stuck around. All right? Serious business, okay? And it means a lot to the comedians that come up here. Seriously. And I have to tell you right now that, as you can see, I have nothing on the stool. There's no paper, no phone. As a matter of fact, I left my fucking notes at home. So I have to fucking wing this, okay? And I have CRSS, okay? I don't know if you're familiar with that. Can't remember shit syndrome, okay? And, who's the one to talk about their 15-year reunion? Well, I'm looking at my 55th reunion, so I'm an old fuck for sure, okay? Now, if you had no idea where I'm from, can you tell? Do you know where I'm from? You have no idea? Oh, good, you're fun. I am from Georgia. Serious business, okay? I really am. And it's a small town in Georgia, okay? Where everybody sounds like they're from fucking New York. And you're going, where is that place? No, seriously. So, has anybody here ever lived a saying? Okay? Think about it. Have you ever lived a saying? Alright? So you're all going, Turk, what the fuck does that mean? I'll explain it to you, because you know what? This is how comics think. Because they're all the time writing shit down, alright? Here's what happened. The other night, I got up because I had to take a dump. Okay? I look at the alarm clock. I still have a fucking alarm clock, okay? But not a rotary phone. I'm almost in the 21st century. I look at the alarm clock. It says 11:56. I go into the bathroom. I take a dump. Okay? I go back to the bed. Okay? I look at the clock. It says 11:05. I get in. I lay down, and I jump up and go, holy fuck! I just lived a saying. You know what the saying was? Same shit, different day. Come on! Huh? Now you fuckers are gonna go home, okay? You're gonna wake up and you're gonna try to compliment and do the same thing. Now, has anybody ever been part of an intervention? The subject of an intervention? Well, I was, okay? I absolutely was. Who does that, right? Fucking quick as shit. I come up here because it gives me the ability to get my fucking steps in, okay? I'm old, okay? I got weak bones, okay? So, here's the intervention. I didn't know that it was for me. I got called over to my buddy's house. And they said, hey, Turk, come on over, okay? There's going to be a couple of guys here, some of your friends, close friends. And I get there, and I see a lot of people that I recognize, But in the living room, I look, and as I walked in the door, I look over there, and there's one chair, and then there's like 7 other, folding chairs. I said, what the fuck's going on here, right? So I go in there, and they go, hey, come on, let's go. So I go, what's up? And they go, come on in the living room. So So I go in the living room and I go to sit down in one of the other chairs. I go, no, Turk, you have to sit up here. And I said, what's this about? And I had to sit there for an hour and listen to my close and personal friends, each one giving an individual, detailed soliloquy of my drinking habits. I was mortified. I was embarrassed. I hung my head in shame. And I took this all in. And after an hour, I drove home and I pondered heavily on everything that they said and what it had meant to me. And I'm here to tell you all, right now, that it has been 6+ months since I have talked to any of those fuckers. Long live the beer, okay? So, this is all new to me. And you're right, buddy. This guy does look like Brett Favre. Absolutely. Okay? And, you know, I guess that's good. I like Brett. Absolutely. Did you play football by any chance?
No.
Okay. And what did you do for a living? You were an anesthetist? Me and you have something in common, okay? In high school, the girls called me Ethan. So check this out. We are here together right now. Now, you don't know that I was a cop for 30 years, okay? I'm retired now. And I gotta tell you, my entire life, I have been in trouble. I'm thinking all the way back to second grade with Mrs. Azenbray, okay? She couldn't handle me because we didn't know it at the time, but I have serious ADHD. If you don't notice, I'm a little on the hyper side. But here's the deal. I had to go to the principal's office. And then when I went to intermediate school, I had to go to the principal's office. In high school, I had to go to the principal's office. When I went to college for 1 year, I went to the dean's school. And then I went to service, okay? And I had to go to the first sergeant's office. And then sometimes I had to go to the captain's office. And then, finally, when I was a cop, okay, I had to go to HR, okay? But prior to that, I went to internal affairs. Then I went to the chief's office, right? So I was constantly, my whole life I've been in trouble because I do and say things sometimes that really isn't all that bad. And I think it's funny. And I'll tell you the truth right now, I've never worked a day in my life. Is there anybody here that can say that? Huh? Absolutely. Okay? And I've done everything, people. Okay? At 75, I've done it all. And I have never worked a day in my life. So check this shit out. Thank you very much, Brett. You're my wingman tonight, okay? Oh, yeah, I'm happy for that too. I appreciate it. Omaha. Shit, okay. So here's the deal. I was constantly in trouble for things that I said and did, and as I got older, it got worse because my hearing has failed me. Okay? Do you realize that I went to have a hearing test? All right? You look very intent. I'm liking that. Okay? And so I go to get a hearing test, and they tell me that my right ear, I have severe hearing loss. Right? Severe. How much worse can it be? Right? But then they tell me that my left ear is fucking profound. I had profound loss in my hearing on the left ear. So I'm really fucking deaf in one ear, can't hear out the other. Whether I wear hearing aids or not, okay, I'm fucked, all right? And so I always mishear shit. And I'm going to tell you a true story. And this happened at my last job. I went into the coffee room, and there were two Korean guys talking, okay? And I overheard them. And I said, hey, I have a story to tell you about when I was a detective on the police department. And they go, yeah, Turk? I said, yeah. I says, you know, I was out doing some neighborhood canvases because we had a ration of burglaries in the area. And I was knocking on the doors doing the old shoe leather shit, right? Trying to gather information. That was my job. Anyway, they give a lookout for an elderly Asian man, okay, who had Alzheimer's, wandered away from the house, and hadn't returned. They were going to send another unit, but I said, hey, I'm in the area, I'll take it. You know what? I found that guy. Didn't take much, a couple of blocks. He doesn't speak any English. I grab him, I put him in the front seat of the car, I take him home. They are all excited, okay? They treated me like gold. They offered me food, everything. But I told them, no, I gotta go. So, as a cop, you always have to close that case out, one way or another. So we have our own lingo, right? Well, back then, I told them, CIS 72. They said, go ahead, CIS 72. What's the status of this case? I says, no paperwork needed. It's going to be 1099. The subject was disoriental. I get a fucking couple of clicks because they're laughing their ass off, okay? And I tell these two Koreans this joke. And they go, well, that's pretty funny, Turk, but what does that have to do with what we're talking about? I said, well, you guys were talking about Asian parents. And they go, no, we were talking about Asian parents. I says, what the fuck? You're splitting hairs here on me, right? Okay, Asian. You know, come on. Knock yourself out, guys. Okay, watch your step there, okay? Appreciate it. I feel like I'm in a ride in fucking Disneyland, all right? So, I go, Asian. And so, they go, you really shouldn't say that. I says, yeah. I said, but it's still kind of funny, you know? And they go, yeah, it was. I says, and I was just trying to normalize this. And they go, whoa, Turk, come on, huh? I says, what are you talking about? What now? They said, listen, we know as Koreans, okay, we don't have normalized. I said, well, who the fuck said anything about normalized? Okay? I just tried to normalize the situation. You see, there you go again. So, the moral of the story, where the fuck did I wind up? Fucking HR, okay? That's fucking bullshit, don't you think? So you see how my hearing got me in trouble, all right? So, here's the deal. Do we have any Jewish people in here? Woo! All right. There. Holy mackerel, that's a surprise. I know the guy. So, I'm going to tell you a little story about two guys that met in a bathroom in California. Okay? And this most of the time I goggle first. This is what it's like. Now, if you're a man, you understand how the bathroom's set up, right? You have the sink, two urinals, you have a shitter, and now you have the baby changer, okay? So these two guys, they go in, and one guy's really tall, and one guy's kind of short. And they walk in, and the tall guy, he grabs the left urinal, and the shorter guy grabs the right urinal. And the conversation goes something like this. Don't laugh, this is like actual size. Come on, huh? Give me a break, I'm 75. Are you serious here? Holy shit. Okay. Hey, you from New York? Yeah. You from Oceanside, New York? He goes, yeah. He says, how do you know that? He says, one more question or two. He says, did you go to Temple, Nevada? He says, God, I did. He says, I can't believe this is happening. I'm 3,000 miles from home. I'm in a bathroom with a total stranger, and you seem to know everything about me. What's going on? He says, one more question. He says, do you know Rabbi Kibitz? He goes, I do. He's a good friend of the family. How is that? He says, Rabbi Kibitz, he's my uncle. He cuts crooked. You're pissing all over my shoe. What the fuck, eh? Now, if you're Jewish, you got to appreciate that, all right? Hey, anybody here ever watch the commercials, the infomercials at night? You're scrolling through 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Holy fuck, I'm sorry. Jesus, I think it's past my bedtime. I'm looking at the clock here, okay? Hey, do I have permission or not? Huh? Okay, all right. Listen, you see these infomercials? Okay? You're going to like Johnny Falco. I guarantee you. All right? Especially Brett. Okay? So you're scrolling through, and then all of a sudden you see this guy. He comes up and he goes, hey! He says, I'm Johnny Falco. He says, I'm here to tell you about a diet that's worked for millions of people. You want to know about that, people? I see you out there in television land. I know you're all looking at me. You're probably fucking stoned at the time, okay? But I'm telling you, I have a diet that's worked for millions of people, okay? Do you really want to know? Am I seeing your head shake? Yes. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you. It's been around for 1,000,000 years. You know the name of this diet? It's called Stop Eating, You Fat Bastard. Now, do me a favor, okay? Try this, okay? Now, people write in, they text me, they email me, okay? They Instagram me. They go, hey, Johnny, how can I technically tell if I'm a fat bastard? Well, there's a couple of things to look for. Number one, when you comb your hair, do you get winded? Number two, when you go to the bathroom, do you have to move your chins out of the way? And number three, when you go to a buffet, are the waitresses wearing riot gear? Whoa, let me tell you what. If that's the case, you are a fat fucking bastard. So listen, do me a favor. Send in for my tape. It ain't audio, it ain't video, it's Scotch tape. That's right. Put it across those big fat fucking lips of yours. Watch the pounds miraculously melt away as you prevent the wingdings from going in. Try it for 30 days. If it don't work, fuck it. You're still a fat bastard and you ain't getting your money back. Thank you, Brett. I appreciate it.
Turk, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Okay, so next month.